Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Barkley is very upset with Donald Trump for what he said about why black people like him over his mugshot and indictments and feel he is discriminated against. Well, he's very upset to the point where he said if he catches any black person walking around with Donald Trump's mugshot t shirt, he's going to punch them in the face. Oh, really, Charles? Talking real bold there, man. Charles Barkley rips into Donald Trump after the former U.S. president claimed black people embrace his infamous police mugshot and indictments and threatened to punch anyone walking around with his t shirt on with the mugshot on it. He said he was just offended. That's what he's saying. He was offended. So let's get into it. NBA legend Charles Barkley has launched a scathing attack on Donald Trump after the former U.S. president claimed his infamous police mugshot has been embraced by black voters in America. On the eve of last week's South Carolina primary, in which he easily swept aside former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, Trump sparked controversy by suggesting he appeals more to the black community after his recent arrest for trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election results in Georgia. Actually, your insurrectionists from January 6th should be the ones relating to to you the most, Donald Trump, because they went to the US Capitol and just destroyed it, smeared their pee and poo all over the place, and just tore out all kinds of things and broke windows and ran all through it like a wild, unleashed animal. And some of them got jail sentences. Their sentences was a joke, and we were all laughing at those sentences, but they did get it. I would think now that they have police records, would be in more agreement with you than the black community. I'm just saying. So let's go on. So when I did the mugshot in Atlanta, that mugshot is number one, he said at the Black Conservative Federation annual honors gala. You know who embraced it more than anyone else? The black population. Now, I know I can't speak for all of my fellow men and women in the community, but I never embrace Donald Trump mugshot more than any other mugshot in this country. Okay. And I haven't embraced any of them. And I know I'm not alone. It's incredible. Black people walk around with my mugshots. Despite receiving applause for those comments, an incensed Barkley has taken aim at Trump for insulting black people while even threatening to punch any black person showing off his infamous mugshot. Hmm. So, and you know what, y'all? I have been out and about, but I know this is still winter and people have coats and jackets on. I haven't seen anybody with his mugshot. I've seen people with it online, but in person, I haven't seen anyone with Donald Trump's mugshot. So, the 11-time NBA All Star said on his broadcast with Gail King, CNN show King Charles, first of all, I'm just going to say this. If I see a black person walking around with Trump's mugshot, I'm going to punch him in the face. King then interrupted to tell Barkley that he could get arrested for assault. He applied, I will bail myself out and go celebrate. Wow. Barkley then continued, if I was at that conference, I would have got up and walked out. That's what I said. Now, this part I do agree. Those black conservatives, because they're such raccoons, they just sat through that whole thing. They did not put up a fuss. They didn't question Donald Trump after he was done with the speech. Nothing. They just smiled like a bunch of raccoons and went along with it. So, to compare Black history when we've been discriminated against to his plight, first of all, he's a billionaire. And that's very questionable. To be honest with you, I don't believe Donald Trump is a billionaire. I don't think he ever was. So, going on. And they're prosecuting him for stuff he did wrong. Exactly. Well, some of the stuff is true. The vast majority of it is true. They did storm the Capitol. They did say that the election was stolen, and those aren't lies, Gail said. Yeah. So I would think the insurrectionists would be the ones that relate to Donald Trump the most. But to compare it, I would have got up and walked out because it's not a fair comparison. He's a billionaire. He had a great life. He's been president of the United States. To insult Black people who have been discriminated against for all these years, to put them in the same category, I was just offended. Trump, who was cleared to run for president again on Monday after the Supreme Court banned states from excluding him from ballots, is expected to trounce um, on Haley. Now, Haley won DC. That's really the only, place she won in the country. She has really no chance of being the nominee. So, anyway, on the eve of Super Tuesday, when 15 states and one territory vote for who they want to take on Joe Biden in this year's presidential election, the 77-year-old lauded the Supreme Court reversal of his disqualification from Colorado's ballot. However, Trump also quickly turned his attention to another big case before the justice, publicly lobbying for presidential immunity from prosecution. I have great respect for the Supreme Court, and I want to just thank them for working so closely and so diligently and so blatantly, he said, in Florida after the justices ruled in his favor by barring states from disqualifying candidates for federal office based on a constitutional provision concerning insurrection. And while we're on the subject, another thing that will be coming up very soon will be immunity. Immunity for a president. He wants that so bad, y'all. He wants to be immune so bad. The Supreme Court in April is due to hear Trump's appeal of the lower court's ruling rejecting his claim of immunity from prosecution in a criminal case brought by the special counsel Jack Smith involving Trump's actions intended to reverse the presidential race in 2020. The court's decision not to schedule its arguments until the week of April 22nd reduces the chances that a trial in the case brought by Smith could be finished before the election. The trial was previously scheduled to have begun this week. So, y'all, you're going to have to tell me what you think about Charles Barkley. I mean, I don't totally disagree with what he said, but, all of a sudden, Charles is not acting like a raccoon like he normally does. Interesting. Please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video.